ready to go.
You guys want to introduce the first part of the Rump session, or should I?
Okay. Yes. Okay, everyone, welcome to the Crypto 2021 Rump session. Bertrand, Marta, and I hope that you enjoy wherever you are. I'm in Greece, it's past midnight, so it's fun. We have a couple of Rump session talks and Jeopardy strikes back, so stay tuned. And first, Michelle is going to start. So Michelle, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Antigone, for the introduction. So welcome to the this first part in which I'll be addressing. It's in the program as the presidential address. Anyways, like the main point for this presentation is first to introduce the new fellows of the IACR, and second to thank the people who had made this conference possible. So let me start first with the fellows. So as you know, the IACR fellows, it's a program that recognizes the outstanding IACR members, both for their technical contributions and professional contributions. And this includes, in particular, to advance the science, technology, and practice of cryptology and related fields, to promote the free exchange of ideas and information about cryptology and related fields, develop and maintain the professional skills, integrity of individuals in the cryptologic community, and advance the standing of the cryptologic community in wider terms. So this year, the Fellow Selection Committee was chaired by Ronald Kramer from CWI Leiden University. And the other members were Kwanjo Kim from KAIST, Anna Lizinskaya from Brown University, Daniele Michancho from the UCSD, and Kenny Patterson from ETH Zurich. So in this year, 5 new members were recognized for their contributions. These were Craig Gentry, Yuda Lindell, Joseph Pieszczyk. Sorry, I forgot the trick that you taught me earlier. Leonid Raisin and Ingrid Webawed. And as you know, in case you're interested in nominating someone, the deadline is later this year in November 15th. So don't wait for the last minute. It's important that you start early, because you need to create a file for each of the person that you're nominating. And but if you would like to have more information about it, you can just go to iacr.org/fellows. So let me now go in particular talk about each of the fellows and why they were recognized. So the first one is Craig Gentry, and he's being recognized for breakthrough research on fully homomorphic encryption and other fundamental contributions to cryptography. So I would, Craig will wait until Eurocrypt to say a few words, but I would like everybody just to wish a round of applause for Craig for his incredible contributions. So the second new IACR fellow is Yuda Lindell for fundamental contributions to theory and practice of secure multi-party computation, for sustained educational leadership, and for service to the IACR. Yuda is also going to wait until Eurocrypto or perhaps crypto next year to say a few words. So he would like to speak in an in-person event. But let's all first thank Yuda for his incredible contributions. So next is Joseph Piepzig for significant contributions to the design, analysis, of crypto systems, and for exceptional service to the AACR and the Asia Pacific cryptographic community. Let's all thank Joseph, who is online and would perhaps use this opportunity also to say a few words.
Thank you very much for this award, and I'm really appreciating this to crypto community, and especially I would like to thank my friends here in Australia and the Australian community, including Jennifer Siberry and Dawson. This is actually a wonderful occasion. So I'm really happy that I am able to actually say a few words at this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. As I said, thank you for your contributions to the field. So the next AACR fellow is Leonid Raisin for fundamental contributions to theory and practice of cryptography and for service to the AACR. So I know Leo is actually online and participating. So Leo, thank you so much for your contributions. If you would like to say a few words, feel free.
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that we have an incredible community. The IACR is an organization run almost entirely on a volunteer basis and doing an amazing job. And I very much appreciate being a part of the community, and I'm honored and hope to see you all in person sometime soon.
So thank you, Leo, for your words. And the last AACR fellow is Ingrid Weberwed for pioneering and sustained contributions to the cryptographic hardware and embedded systems, and for service to the AACR. So Ingrid could not attend this event and also chose to speak at a later event. And by the way, due to this COVID situation, normally all of the fellows would be receiving a plaque for their contributions and for becoming a fellow. But just like last year, this is not possible to do it in person. We expected in a future event to be able to get together with everybody and actually be able to give a plaque in person, instead of, like, I could always mail that the plaque directly to them, but I think it would be nicer to do it in person. So this concludes the fellow section of the program. But so as I said, I would like to also acknowledge here, use this opportunity to thank all the people who made this conference possible and so successful. So, and for that, let me start first with the program chairs. So here, I would like to thank, give a certificate of appreciation to Tal Malkin for, in recognition of her contribution to the International Association for Cryptological Research and the field of cryptology research through the role of Program Chair of Crypto 2021. Tal wasn't online yet. I don't know if she's already here. But thank you, Tal, and she will be talking very briefly together with Chris, giving a summary from the program chairs. So second, I would like to also thank Chris Pikert in recognition for his contribution to the IACR and the field of cryptology research through the role of Program Chair of Crypto 2021. Thank you a lot, Chris and Tal, for your hard work. Like this year was particularly hard given the extremely high number of submissions that you guys received. And it made the job very difficult, but fortunately you also had a nice program committee to help you with this job. Third, I would like to thank Vlad Kolesnikov in recognition for his contribution to the IACR in the field of cryptology research through the role of General Chair of Crypto 2021. As you know, Vlad has been able to run a very successful conference. And Vlad, I'll let you say a few words, sincerely.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, I wanted to take 30 seconds to thank everybody who did actual work. And again, I mentioned it on Monday, and I can't say it enough. I wanted to say it again. Thanks to the sponsors, to Kay and Kevin, the workshop chairs. I wanted to mention interesting tidbit of information that the number of registrations I just checked half an hour ago grew to 999 since the 888 that I reported on Monday. And my sincerest hope that next year the crypto chair will do actual real work organizing a physical conference. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Vlad. So next, as Vlad said, this year, in the last few years, we've had several affiliated workshops, and Karmit was the chair for the affiliated workshops this year. So thank you, Karmit, for all your hard work. I don't have all the list of participants here. I don't know if you're connected or not. Sorry. But I would like to thank you for your hard work. And finally, I would also like to thank the Rump Session chairs, who has this amazing job of making this event, which is one of the most successful events of crypto. So Bertrand, Antigone, and Martijn, thank you a lot for your work and for accepting to serve the community in this role. And finally, as other people already mentioned, Kevin and Kay have been making an amazing job in helping run the virtual conferences, which was a big challenge since last year. Now they have been able to, they already got pretty familiar with the way things work, but nevertheless, it still requires a lot of work, and especially now with the upcoming Eurocrypt in a hybrid format, you can imagine that there are a lot of things to be figured out. So I thank you a lot for your support. And with this, I conclude my presentations. Just like to ask everybody for a round of applause to thank the great work of the organizers. All right. Martijn, Antigone, Bertrand, it's up to you now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marcel. And on behalf of Martijn and Bertrand, I would like to say thanks a lot for inviting us. It's always a pleasure. So now we just have Chris. So Chris, please, whenever you're ready, we would like to see your report.
You can see the slides, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll be speaking. This is going to be a co-presentation, but I hope Tal is okay. We were emailing 40 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, and then cut out. So I wonder if she had a power outage or some other emergency. But I will do my best simulation of her for the first half of this. So this is our report from the program chairs, a variety of interesting and hopefully useful information for you. So let me get it to go forward. Okay, there we go. So as usual, the crypto review process was a double-blind review. So all papers were anonymous, and reviews on those papers were anonymous. And we aim to have at least 3 reviews per paper. We achieve that in almost every case, probably 97% plus of the papers had at least 3 reviews. This year, as in some recent years, we had a rebuttal phase. So the reviews were returned to the authors, and then the authors had an opportunity to respond to any questions or misunderstandings about the paper. And then that phase was followed by another discussion phase of several weeks. That went, I think, very well. We got a lot of good feedback. Opinions were changed, both positively and negatively, based on the feedback obtained in the rebuttal phase. And also, it was a very good checkpoint by which people had to get their reviews in, and it served that well. There was, of course, a natural conflict of interest policy that we went with on reviews and awards, especially for the awards. That was adhered to very carefully, and the PC chairs did not participate in giving reviews or voting on the awards. So the process was generally the same as in previous years, especially last year when everything was suddenly online. We had, as with now the 1,000 plus official registrations for the conference, we were breaking records in a number of other categories. We had 430 paper submissions to the conference, which is an all-time record. And we accepted 103 of those, which is also an all-time record. And that comes to an acceptance rate of about 24%, which is in line with the previous several years. There were 1,087 distinct reviews on these papers, and there were 58 PC members, as well as a small advisory committee of the previous PC chairs and next year's PC chairs. There were also, in addition to the 58 members on the PC, 390 external reviewers, many of whom submitted multiple reviews. And the number of threads in my Crypto 2021 folder is in excess of 1,300 and probably still growing. Of course, each thread has multiple messages in it. Okay, so moving on to some additional stats. This is just the numbers, the record-breaking numbers that we had this year in context in the past few years. And we have, yes, so you can see the submissions have been growing. We've got almost 59 or 60 more than last year, and 18 more accepted papers. And then you see the best paper awards and 3 honorable mention papers, along with the best early career researcher award. All right, moving to the next. There we go. Okay, good. Oh, I think there's a missing. Yes, there it is. Okay, went a little bit slowly. So this is the PC procrastination. I mentioned the rebuttal phase. So you see down in the middle here, the 0. That's the days until the initial review deadline. And you can see the curve, it grows very rapidly running up to that deadline, but we have 90+% of the reviews in by the deadline for the initial rebuttal phase, and then those last few percent trickle in over the subsequent days. So all in all, this is pretty good. I'm quite happy with this graph here, especially with everybody still dealing with the coronavirus pandemic and being at home and so forth. So many thanks to the PC for being so diligent about reviews. Here's some stats on the scores of papers that were accepted and not accepted. So in orange, those were rejected, and in blue, those would be accepted. The y-axis is a little messed up here. You should divide by 3. This is counting number of reviews rather than number of papers. But you can see the histogram and distribution of the average scores for the papers. All right, so I'll let you look at that for a moment. Right, and the overall average of all papers was right about in the middle, 3.43 out of 6, with a minimum of 1 though. All right, so here's just some fun qualitative results. This is a word cloud of the words appearing in the submitted papers. So you see things like encryption and security and quantum and efficient and other things appearing quite commonly, and then many other popular words as well. And the following is the word cloud of accepted paper titles. So you'll notice a few things. Words like secure and security and quantum remain very highly represented in both submitted and accepted papers, which is no surprise. You also see things like the word encryption is somewhat downgraded. It's less represented among the accepted papers. But phrases like words like MPC, applications, black box, and sharing all received significant upgrades in their representation among the accepted papers. However, there is one distinguishing word which remains the most effective or the most distinguished, and that is in the upper right here. It's schnorr. So this is a very good distinguisher for accepted papers, because all 5 out of 5 submitted papers with schnorr in the title were accepted. That's 100% accept rate for those papers. And the first 4 of them, again, 4 of them you may have noticed were in the very first session of the conference on Monday morning. So this correlation with schnorr extends only, though, to titles. Among those papers that had schnorr in the abstract alone, only 1 out of 5 of those were accepted. So that's a little bit lower than the typical, the average acceptance rate this year. So schnorr in the title was very good. Schnorr in the abstract only not nearly as good. So with these trends in mind, we are pleased to announce next year's best paper. We actually already know what it is, and it's Schnorr's Secure Quantum MPC and Applications. All right, so that's everything about the paper titles. And we have many thanks to give. Thank you to Vlad for being the general chair, despite his protestations that he didn't do any work. That's not true, he was quite busy. To Karmit for chairing the workshops, to Bertram, Antigone, and Martine for this Rump session and organizing it again, as they did last year. Kevin and Kay, you could see the long list of things that they helped us with indispensably. They were extremely helpful on all manner of organizing the conference. The people at Springer, Anna and Miriam, and Michelle and the ICR emergency pandemic team were also very helpful to us in organizing the conference. All right, so thank you to everybody, and we look forward to the rest of, oh, I'm sorry, we have one more slide here. The program committee, yes, we have our 58 great members of the program committee. It was wonderful working with you. This is definitely the most fun I've ever had in an administrative capacity for work. This is a really enjoyable with everybody doing so well on the PC side, and to our approximately 400 external sub-reviewers, and of course, thanks to the many hundreds of authors who submitted their work to make such a great program for us to choose. All right, that is all we have. Thank you very much, and we look forward to the rest of the Rump session.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you so much for making this great program. So let's move to the Rump session talks. We have
Kevin,
talks.
oh, I know Kevin has his hand up.
Oh, Kevin, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just want to say to the program committee and to Chris and Tal that if there's anything that we can do to improve the situation with hot crap, please let us know, because while it's difficult to change the code, I think we can set the direction for the whole community too. It's a pretty complex piece of code, and the process of running a committee is really complicated. But let's try to keep improving this thing.
Thanks, Kevin. Definitely, we have to do that. Okay, so let's move to the next talk. So is Muhammad ready? So he's going to talk on the technical flaws in CCC white paper.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Cool, thank you. So welcome everyone, and my talk is on the technical flaws in CCC white paper. So CCC, for your knowledge, so it's Confidential Computing Consortium, and it consists of member organizations, including the giant tech giants, these Google, Microsoft, Huawei, Red Hat, ARM, so on. And what we would expect out of these tech giants is a very nice paper and technically sound and so on. So what comes out of it is in October was a paper named Confidential Computing Deep Dive, version 1.0. And a few months later, they realized that it's not so deep, it's only abstract. And then they changed the title to a technical analysis of confidential computing. So let's have a deep look at what this is consists of. The latest version of this paper consists of this masterpiece by the CCC Tech Technical Advisory Committee, and they conducted a survey which resulted in this Venn diagram where the sets of these elements are basically the definitions of these terms. And so you see here the homomorphic encryption, multi-party computation, and then an area of trusted execution environments, including the hardware-based as well as the software-based. And inside the hardware-based, also some programmable, meaning that they can be programmed with arbitrary code. And what we also see here is set on the TPM, which doesn't make much sense here inside the trusted execution environments. These are two different, completely different technologies. And this was, to our surprise, a very surprising thing. And when we explored the survey, we found that it was kept confidential and there was not much information about that. It's confidential computing, so it makes sense to have a confidential survey, but we went on to see what definitions might lead to such a Venn diagram. And the definitions claimed by the Confidential Computing Consortium included, for example, unlike the term confidential computing, several of the terms used in the diagram have multiple competing definitions. So let's see how CC or confidential computing is uniquely defined. It is defined as by the Confidential Computing Consortium as the protection of data in use by performing computation in a hardware-based trusted execution environment. And what exactly is this trusted execution environment? This basically consists of an environment that provides a level of assurance of three properties, namely data confidentiality, data integrity, and code integrity. And only you have to be a member of the TAC in order to know what exactly is meant by this level of assurance. So this informal definition, of course, is not unique at all. Just to get an idea of another document of Confidential Computing Consortium, Confidential Computing Consortium scope, where they define and actually contradict this definition, which is hardware-based trusted execution environment. And here in the same diagram, they have definition which is only this programmable region of the trusted execution environments, as opposed to the definition which says hardware-based trusted execution environments. And one major problem with the definition itself of confidential computing is that it does not include attestation at all, which is kind of surprising because this is one major factor which plays a role in doing confidential computing. And it doesn't make much sense to have a confidential computing or a trusted execution environment without providing any guarantees via attestation. So we had feedback more than 3 months ago, and there's been no much progress from the tech on that. And an easy fix, which seems to be the solution, is to just change this title to a new title, which is a political analysis of confidential computing, where they agree that the political dynamics are more important rather than the scientific progress. These are the key references, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. You didn't run out of time. That's great. So next we have Leo. He's
Yes.
going to talk about the moral character of cryptography work, which is revisited.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, as you might have figured from the title, this talk is heavily inspired by the paper that Rogoway put on ePrint in 2015 with basically the same title. It's a very interesting paper that I encourage you all to read, which deals not with the techniques of cryptography, but with what they might imply for the world. And in particular, one of the key takeaways of this paper is the one that I highlighted here in the abstract, and which can be summarized as follows. In 2015, we were not doing enough to stop mass surveillance. That was 6 years ago. What's the situation in 2021? In 2021, we have a bit of a situation. Apple has decided to set up a new system in order to fight against pedophiles, basically. So far, so good, I want to say. The problem is the approach they are using to reach this goal. So all the quotes here are from their website, you can check. Their approach is based on detecting known images. Basically, your iPhone, if you own one, is going to check the pictures that you have and are planning to upload to iCloud and check if they match images in a database of known bad pictures. They insist that although this is made by your own device on your own picture, this is privacy preserving because they have some fancy protocol with private intersection set and secret sharing. But ultimately, what it does is check your phone for pictures that match a list of bad pictures. What could possibly go wrong, you ask? Well, it's very simple. You just replace the agencies that are currently the intended recipient of this information by some other institution. For instance, how long until having this picture on your iPhone in China gets you into trouble, to put it very bluntly and very concretely. Inspired by this, I decided to write a small tale, which is not really a fairy tale, it's more of a cautionary tale. It's the tale of the cryptographer and the surveillant, which is a French word, but also an English word, it turns out. So once upon a time, there was a company, which I'm going to call Alice, and this company wanted to set up a new feature in its product. And the only problem Alice had was that this feature would have as a side effect to enable mass surveillance, or at least to have some turnkey mass surveillance that is very easy to implement. Oh, shucks, she thought, my customers will never agree to this, and I will never be able to sell my product with this new feature. However, a cryptographer overheard the sorrow of poor Alice and decided to do something. Fear not. With privacy-preserving techniques, it won't be that bad for your customers. And Alice was very happy because not that bad is all she needed. So she cheered and was joined by other voices which were not invited a priori. It was all the world's dictators who now have the ability to just ask Alice to turn the key of her surveillance apparatus. And if she disagrees, they can just force her through taking her out of their own market. I believe we are at a crossroad in cryptography at the moment, cryptography at large. We can do actual privacy preserving things, which in my opinion, may be our last hope to have still some privacy in the modern days. Or we can be in the situation which I am calling privacy invasion enabling. It's the case where cryptographic techniques are used to enable more invasion of privacy by giving them a veneer of respectability, or by allowing techniques of the door in the face style. So if you don't know what door in the face is, it's when you want to obtain 10, so you ask for 100. The question is what we do as a community. So should we celebrate the elegance of the system that is set up by Apple with all the private intersection set and secret sharing, and of the systems that will follow, because I don't think Apple is the only one who is going to do such a thing, or should we strongly condemn it? Because the way I see it, 6 years ago, Rogaway asked a very good question. Is our work good enough? Nowadays, I think we need to ask ourselves if some cryptography work is good at all. I believe that we as a community must be very careful with the practical impact of our work. Is it privacy preserving or privacy invasion enabling? It's really not the same thing. And we must be ready to loudly condemn harmful usage of the techniques we develop, for instance, in the Apple system. In the specific case of the Apple system, it's quite easy. You can just go and sign the petition that Nadim Kobeissi set up extremely quickly and extremely efficiently. So thanks to him. Just click on this link, and if you have a GitHub account, you will be able to sign very quickly to condemn the Apple system. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Leo. So now we're gonna have the Jeopardy. So Bertrand, we can start. We don't hear you if you're talking.
Bertram is muted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bertram? We can bring him offline. Oh, okay.
Oh,
His system crashed.
yes.
We can play without the host.
It does happen. So maybe we can take this opportunity to say hello to Tal Malkin, because I think she has joined now. And because earlier she wasn't there. So
yeah, I'm so sorry I missed it. But you know what? I was just telling Chris, at least I made it for Jeopardy. Yeah, I don't understand. It's not even a time zone issue. It's just, I thought it said 6 p.m. and I showed up at 6 p.m. and then it turned out to be 5:30.
But Tal, you're not even playing Jeopardy.
I can watch. I remember it from last year. I loved it last year. But yeah, I wanted to be in the beginning. I'm really sorry, everyone. But you know, this is why you need a reliable co-chair like Chris. So.
Is it still my turn? Can you hear me now? Sorry, my software.
Yes, Bertram. We'll hand over to you.
Can you see this chat screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good news finally. Very good. So thank you to the Jeopardy. Welcome to the Jeopardy of this year's crypto. We have played this last year, so some of you might have remembered. I give a very quick introduction to what Jeopardy is and how to play this game. We have a panel again, but this time also the audience might be involved if they want to. So carefully pay attention to this. So Jeopardy game looks like this. There's a table with in this case 30 doors, numbered 1 to 500 in multiple categories. So here we see 5 categories. We have 3 teams playing against each other, each team made of 2 candidates. What they will do is to ask me to open one of these doors. Behind one of these doors, behind all of these doors are specific terms depicted with an image or something like this. And the job is to guess which term this might be. This will be all related to cryptography. The trick with Jeopardy playing is that one shall not just say the term and has to guess the term right, but one has to formulate it as a question. With this, we go to introduce the teams. We have 3 very powerful teams this year. Even more powerful, no, I don't compare it to last year. We have 3 very powerful teams. Team Anatolia on the left-hand side, Anna Maria and Stefano. We have the team Bees, Yal and Marcel in the middle, and we have the team Carnival Melons, Elaine and Vipul. we have this time, as I mentioned earlier, the option that the audience plays along. So it's not only the 6 panelists playing against each other, but also the audience can play. However, they do not play against the panelists. They play kind of separately, but we do count the scores, and we can later, hopefully, if we do the evaluation fast enough, we can announce who is the winner. Here, somebody should maybe mute their microphone. Here is the URL that you please type into your smartphone or into your web browser. You will see this kind of app. There is, once you click on one of these cells, you will have this input line will activate. You can put your guess for the Jeopardy playing in there and click the send button. This will all go to a server that we administrate, and then we have to sort by hand which one is positive and which one is negative answers. But you can help us and support us with this process by, if you already know that your answer is wrong, because, well, we do announce the correct answer publicly, then you deactivate it by clicking here on the button in the lower part. You click on I got it wrong if you know it is wrong, and then you help us a lot. This link that you see there will also be posted now into the chat. And with these words, I close my PowerPoint presentation. I restart my screen share with something else, and then I hope it will not crash again. Does this work? Do you see my Firefox?
Yes, all looking good.
Good. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So we have these 5 categories. Our panelists did not know them in advance, but they have been trained to play Jeopardy. I rolled the dice and came to the conclusion that Team B is going to start. Jarl and Marcel, please.
Marcel, your call.
My call. So let's go for Common Schemes 300.
Common Schemes 300, a very good choice. For those playing at home that are not the panelists, C300 is the door you need to click on and fill the line. Martijn, I need your help to tell me who raises their hand of the panelists.
So far, I don't see any.
What?
Yeah, what?
What's wrong with these panelists?
What's wrong with this quote?
What's wrong with the students if 100% of them fail an exam?
So this is from a standard document that defines a common scheme, and it is
Elaine raised her hand. So don't
Elaine?
give the hint.
Yes.
What is a circularly secure encryption scheme?
That is unfortunately not correct.
So can we get a hint or something? Or
Can we get a hint?
Yes, you can get a hint.
Probably time for a hint.
It's
Kay,
also part of the.
Kay, please rename Elaine. I opened the hint.
hey, can you go back?
Of course I can. Very, very famous.
Parody bits.
It's part of the. It's part
Marcel?
of the 52 things every PhD student should know.
Marcel.
Yes,
What is
Marcel.
the data encryption standard?
What is the data encryption standard? That is correct. And so this was Marcel, and Team B gets for this 300 marks. Perfect. And is also the next one to pick a door.
Yael, would you like to?
Yeah, how about Charing's 200?
Charing's 200. I see Stefano.
So who is Daniela Michancho and Tom Ristenbart?
No.
No. Then the other one.
I give you a hint.
Sure.
It's Stefano.
Can I go again? Yeah, so the other one. Who are Daniela Michancho and Sasha Boldyeva?
That is correct. We overlaid.
Sorry, Tom, by the way, if you're ever watching this.
So this is the E200, and this goes to team A.
Can I ask if the audience plays, we also have to formulate it as a question? Like if I just submitted DS on the last one, will I get the points or no?
So we have a team of 4 people evaluating this, and it is up to them to do this. I wouldn't assume this necessarily that they
I will
not
not
tolerant
in the
with this.
future. Okay.
I'm in the lucky position. I will not evaluate that.
The whole point of Jeopardy is to answer in the form of a question, Tal.
Stefano,
This is an
team
American
A.
for you.
Well, so let's go with Charing's 300.
Charing's 300.
This is Sasha again.
So here's your hint. Stefano.
Who are Sasha Boldyeva and Olaf Schachel?
That is correct.
What's up with Sasha today with the cherry?
Well, it's written here. It's the Crypto 18 program chairs.
Oh.
Yes, there used to be rolling co-chairs.
Stefano, you get your 300 marks and open the new door, or Anna Maria does.
Yeah, I'll let Anna Maria do that.
Okay, what about Common Schemes 200?
Common Schemes 200. Sorry for the small print. Again, it's a common scheme. We have 2 hints this time. This would be the first one. That is the same scheme as a picture. Well,
Stefano.
and this is
I have a hand.
Stefano. Let me go back to hint 1. Stefano.
Well, was I say? What is OIP? But now I'm not sure with your second hint.
What is OAP? The second scheme would be PSS from the same standard document.
Okay.
Do you plan to win or what?
You're good.
And
Stefano.
this was a very good pick, Anna Maria. Next one, please, team A.
Anna Maria, go again.
Okay, I'm picking well. Okay, what about Fellows 200?
Fellows 200. So that is a recent fellow of our community. People.
Who is Paul Kocher?
I didn't understand this right, but I think this is not the right question. Marcel?
Well, I'm just going to pick the one I remember from the recent fellow session. Who is Joseph Perchik?
It is not the right question. I open the hint. This would be the most cited paper of this person according to Google statistics. Marcel, is your hand still up or again?
Sorry.
Stefano?
Well, I can never pronounce her name, so I'm going to offend her. But who is Ingrid?
Don't try.
Okay.
It's not correct.
It's not correct. Okay.
Lower your hand, please.
Okay.
Well, I guess I bought this one. No, Marcel?
Well, since guessing doesn't cost anything, who is Elizabeth Oswald?
It's a wonderful guess, but unfortunately incorrect. This is David Nakash.
Oh. That must be this year.
Ooh, who picks this time?
I
Team C
think
picks this time.
we'll have to continue with the rest of the Rump session. So
okay,
so
take this.
We'll continue with Jeopardy in the next break. So hopefully you can all practice and brush up on your history because, well. So the next talk is by Meltem, Thomas Turan, on a NIST crypto update from 2021. So Meltem, if you're here, you can start.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we can hear you, but we can't see your screen yet, if that was the intention. Yes, now we can see it. Please go ahead. Meltem, we can hear clicking, but we can't hear you speak. Now you're muted.
Okay, do you
now we could. Yeah, very brief.
Okay, I'm going to change my. How about now?
Yes, excellent.
Okay, sorry about that. So let me go back. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about 3 projects. And the first project is the Crypto Publication Review project. This is a new project initiated to periodically review and maintain its standards and guidelines. And the review process usually includes an internal and external reviewers and is also supported by public comments. And the decision after the review can either be reaffirmed, update, revise, convert, or withdraw the standard. And the first standard that is going over that we are reviewing is the Advanced Encryption Standard, which was written 20 years ago. And to support this review, we have published a report as well. And some other publications that are going, that under review are block cipher modes of operation, statistical randomness suite, and HMAC standard as well. And NIST also decided to withdraw some of the early PKI standards as well. Okay, the second project I'm going to talk about is the lightweight cryptography project. And currently we are in the 3rd round of this project. And NIST, in March, NIST announced the 10 finalists among 32 second round candidates. 10 of these were selected as finalists. And we have published a report to explain the selection process. We have AAD and hashing algorithms. Five of these finalists support AAD, and the remaining 5 supports AAD and hashing. And if you want to provide feedback on the security and the performance of these finalists, you can use the public LWC forum. And as next steps of this public process, we have a workshop coming up in spring 2022. And a couple of months after the workshop, we're planning to have announced a winner of the standardization process. And the third project that I'm going to talk about is the post-quantum cryptography project. It is also currently in the 3rd round of analysis. And the submissions are categorized into 2 groups, the 8 finalists and the alternates. The finalists are the algorithms that are most likely to be ready for standardization at the end of round 3. And the alternatives candidates are also interesting, but they will probably need one more round for analysis. And the expectation is to select a small number of candidates to be standardized at the end of round 3, and all the information is available in the website, and the announcements are in the PQC forum as well. And this is the timeline of the process. So soon this will begin the decision process to select the algorithms to standardize. And then this team will work with the design teams to create drafts, which will be out for public comments. And this will probably take a year or 2 before the first post-quantum cryptography standards are fully finalized and published. And at the same time, NIST team will be evaluating the alternates candidates at the 4th round. And additionally, NIST is planning to issue another call for proposal for additional post-quantum digital signature schemes with a smaller scope. And more analysis details will be available in the PQC forums. And yeah, thank you for your attention. And we really appreciate everybody who contributes to these projects. Thanks, Martijn.
Okay, thank you very much. So next up is Felix Engelman, successfully failing the crossword puzzle. So you might have noticed there's a crossword and something funny happened there. So Felix, please go ahead.
Hi, I suppose you see the screen and hear me?
Yes, it's both okay.
Okay, yeah, so I'll tell you how to successfully fail the Crypto 2021 crossword puzzle. So it all started with attending yesterday is a view party and delicious strawberries. And in the breaks, we, of course, sat together and discussed the old crossword puzzle. So whatever you see here is no longer applicable because there is a new one. Check it out. So we sat together and puzzled about the clues and tried to fill out the words, but come on, solving it honestly is not the way to go, but we can also look behind the scenes and inspect what the WebSocket is doing in itself. So pulling up a browser, we see that it connects to some WebSocket with some authentication and sends a session, and then we have to reply 40. And then we get a description of the puzzle and our state, and whoever guesses something correctly or wrongly, we get an update about that. So what could we do is we can just connect to that programmatically and not assume the browser. Connect to the socket, send 40 because that's important to get the whole thing going, then receive a bit in the beginning because we need to just discard the description of the puzzle. And then we can send our guess and we get a result if the guess is correct or not. So the ID number 58 was the half a fly, which was the tsetse fly. And the result was that the guess is correct. So now we have programmatic access to the Oracle to return correct words or wrong guesses. But then we did a back of the envelope calculation and saw like, for three character words that might make sense, and it's about 17,000 guesses, that will take about 10 minutes. Let's try it out if it works. So I wrote a small script to check all 3-letter permutations in a nested loop. Then I built the 3-letter word from it, printed it, and then sent the guess off and checked if the received thing contains true, because I wasn't even bothering parsing the JSON which came back. And if true is included, then I obviously found the guess. And then I let it running, and that happened. So the number of correct guesses just iterated upwards. And then I was kind of weirdly suspicious what was happening, and I looked at my code again. And looking at it further, I recognized that I made a bug. So I obviously sent the same correct guess all the time instead of iterating over my words. So what I did, I sent a whole bunch of flies to the server, and they all got counted. So that then resulted in getting 2021 correct guesses, but the incorrect ones were looking a bit off. So those are just rookie numbers. We have to get them higher to the next even number. So now that's fixed. And that's all fun until you get banned for like not playing along the rules. And the main takeaways of this small project is that the back of the envelope estimations may not help you at all, because you may find something completely different. The Python WebSocket client library is amazing. Send 40 and make the most of the fading strawberry season, because they won't be around for much longer. And special thanks to the AU group for all the material used for this presentation, and the amazing strawberries, to Ray for the puzzle, and especially for Kevin for creating the whole software, and then patching it like 10 minutes after the thing happened. So thanks a lot and have fun.
Thank you very much. That was enlightening. So
that was the point of it.
So I hope Kay and Kevin weren't too upset by the counting.
Kay gets none of the blame for this. The blame goes to me.
It's not really blame, it's just fun.
And it was.
But yeah, it definitely is Kevin's fault.
Okay, so that's settled. It's definitely Kevin's fault. So the next talk is by Elaine Shi on impossibility result for transactions fee mechanisms, I suppose. So Elaine, please take it away.
I guess my student Hao Chang, he cannot be here today because he just arrived in the US and he's pretty badly jet lagged. I'm going to tell you about exciting mechanism design problem, transaction fee mechanism. So, we are familiar with the scenario, and every user has some transaction. The transaction will pay some fee, but the block size is finite. So that's why we need to run an auction here. And this problem turns out to be technically fascinating because the classical mechanisms all fail. Here's an example. So like the generalized second price auction is like the golden standard in the classical mechanism design literature, but it just completely fails here. So imagine in this case, we want to confirm 4 transactions, but they pay the 5th price. And the reason why it doesn't work is because the miner is selfish and it can just inject the 5th transaction whose price is in between the 4th and the 5th. And this will allow the miner to make more revenue. In the classical mechanism design literature, typically we would just trust the auctioneer, but here, even the miner can be selfish. So that's why we need to rethink And the first question we want to ask is, what is the dream transaction fee mechanism? And there's a line of work previously on this, and they basically raised the following set of nice properties we want to have. First, we want to have user incentive compatibility, meaning the user's best strategy is to bid truthfully. We also want to have miner incentive compatibility, meaning the miner's dominant strategy is to play by the book. We also want to have side contract proofness, meaning if the miner colludes with up to C users, then they also don't have any incentive to deviate from the honest behavior. So Tim Roughgarden raised an interesting open question. Can we actually have such a dream transaction fee mechanism satisfying all these properties? And the interesting thing is, so even though there have been several various papers that looked at this problem, none of them could achieve all these three properties at the same time. And the closest we have come to is actually Ethereum's EIP 1559. And this was like rolled out a couple of weeks ago. And Tim Roughgarden proved that if the block size is infinite, then Ethereum's EIP 1559 indeed satisfies all of these three properties. But in reality, the block size is finite and there can be congestion, so it fails in that sense. So we prove that, unfortunately, if you want all of these three properties, it's actually impossible under finite block size assumption. And this, asks us to think, is there any way to relax the incentive compatibility notion to circumvent this impossibility? And we show that there are some meaningful relaxations. Maybe, we can get around this impossibility. And interestingly, this relaxation kind of makes use of this repeated nature of the transaction fee mechanism. And finally, transaction fee mechanism actually has interesting new elements that were not found in classical mechanisms. Like Ethereum's 1559 has a new rule called the Burr rule. And we were able to actually explain why the existence of these new elements are necessary, from a theoretical perspective. So if you are interested, our paper hopefully will be on ePrint soon. And this is an exciting area with lots of open questions. And I'm pretty excited about this space. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. So also for questions, of course, also for a Rump session, people can ask serious questions on the Zulip, even though there might be jokes there as well. But also serious questions can be asked there. So next up is David Heath, together with the probably winner of the best joke of the Rump session. So one hot garbling. David, take it away.
Thank you. So unfortunately, I do have to disappoint anybody. This is not a joke. This is some serious thing, but we wanted to take the opportunity, Vlad and me, to share with you some research that we think is very, very exciting and that will be appearing at CCS later this year. And so, to pique your interest, the idea is that we have found some new gates for garbled circuits that are more efficient. And so we think this is very exciting and a bit surprising that anything is possible like this. So of course, garbled circuits, traditionally, you build garbled circuits and they consist of AND and XOR gates. And this is a complete basis. So what do I mean by new gates? Well, of course, there are some functions that if you turn them into a bunch of AND and XOR gates, it might not be so cheap. So the question is, are there some other gates? Are there some other functions we can compute using some crypto-technical techniques that still make sense for garbled circuits and are cheaper than just blowing everything down to ANDs and XORs? And we happen to find one that turns out to be very flexible. And so I'm going to show it to you. It's going to look very, very niche and not useful probably at first glance, but I promise that this is quite powerful actually and very, very useful. So what this operation is saying is that we're taking in two bit strings, A and B, and we are computing what we call the one-hot outer product of A and B. Okay, so what is this? These are two bit strings again, and it computes a bit matrix that is 0 everywhere, except for in the 8th row. If you interpret A as a number, the 8th row is the vector B. Okay, so this is the one-hot outer product of A and B. And we were able to compute this very, very efficiently if the garbled circuit evaluator happens to know in clear text the value A. Okay, so this is, again, it sounds very niche. What could this be useful for? But before I show you, how this might be useful, I just want to say some interesting things about it. So first of all, in order to build this garbled gadget, we had to use some tricks that are similar to research coming out of the space of function secret sharing and distributed point functions, which we think is at least very curious that there is some application of these techniques in the space of garbled circuits. Again, this is using far less communication than if we were to build this matrix using AND and XOR gates. And this is still a garbling scheme. We haven't introduced new rounds of interaction or anything like that. And again, this improves a lot of interesting applications that you might be interested in. So how do you actually build stuff out of this thing? Well, I mean, again, I'm just mostly here to try to pique your interest, but I want to give you at least a high level idea what you can do with this thing. So the idea is, again, we need the evaluator, the garbled circuit evaluator, to know this bit vector A, which is restrictive. But what we can do is we can reveal certain internal values to the evaluator, so long as that value is masked by some uniform bit mask, perhaps. Right? So I can't reveal A to the evaluator, but I can reveal A plus alpha for uniform alpha. Now we can use our gate. And the key trick here is that this one-hot encoding is in a sense fully homomorphic. And what I mean by that is that basically you can use the truth table for any function you like. So you can use the truth table for any function you like, and using only linear operations, you can obtain f of A plus alpha. So this is like a very powerful thing that you're able to do, that you can apply any function you like to this projected out one-hot encoding outer product, right? And then from here, okay, we've introduced this mask, but in certain cases, we can remove the mask using simple algebra, and this allows us to compute things more quickly than we would have been able to otherwise. So the simplest way you can use this thing is to construct the true outer product of two bit vectors, not the one-hot outer product or one where A is not known, but you can construct the true outer product. And it turns out, very interestingly, this is kind of a strict generalization of the half gates technique, which until very recently was the state-of-the-art garbled circuit technique. And it also improves a number of other functions. Perhaps most interestingly, it improves the multiplication of numbers within garbled circuits. And so again, I just wanted to pique your interest, and we think this is really exciting research. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. This is indeed piquing interest. So the final talk of this session is by Louis Rondeau, NIST Crypto Exploratory Projects Back Threshold and Masking. So please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see my screen? Okay, great.
Indeed.
So I'm with the crypto group at NIST as a contractor from Strativia, and I'll take these 5 minutes to give some notes on some of our exploratory projects at NIST, which are not in stages of competition as other projects you've heard about, but they are in stages where they would greatly benefit from getting community feedback. So let me just start by defining the scope here. So consider here these simple strawberries as some elementary building blocks of crypto. So like ciphers, like AES, hash functions, like in the SHA family, signatures, like RSA and encryption schemes and PRMGs. This is the traditional focus of NIST in terms of standardization. Now, the difficulty is that in the current real world, we're increasingly needing to look at something more like a fruit salad. So maybe you want to have your strawberry with chocolate or without chocolate, or you might have to combine other fruits. So this leads us to seeing what should we do about higher level techniques, sometimes with some special features in it. These are techniques that are increasingly pertinent. They have many trade-offs, so often it's more difficult to choose what should we standardize or not, and they raise issues about composability and others. So these recent projects I want to talk about aim to develop reference material and prepare future guidance, and hopefully in the near future we'll actually be more closely looking at standardization. So the first project would be privacy-enhancing cryptography. This intends to accompany the progress of emerging PEC tools. So I'm using here PEC tools as an umbrella term that encompasses many techniques. General things like secure multi-party computation, other popular techniques like zero-knowledge proofs and homomorphic encryption, and many others, some of which might be your favorite ones. So this project intends to evaluate the potential for standardization of these spec tools, in particular, taking this approach of developing reference material that can support their use and also assess their potential for standardization. Some of our developing resources, they are all online, include a report on PEC, which we are developing, and we hope to have a draft out for public comments in late 2021. We'll also have a second draft of a PEC use case suite, which is a document that tries to look more at an applicational perspective. We've been hosting a series of talks on PEC tools. We'll continue to do this this year and the next and so forth, that look at PEC tools and how they can be used for privacy and public auditability. And hopefully around 2022, 2023, we may have a workshop on PEC at NIST. Okay, another project is the multi-party threshold cryptography, and it intends to challenge this conventional wisdom that a single bad apple can ruin your day. So when we consider the threshold approach, we can actually have this setting where a good strawberry is enough to save your day, even if some of the strawberries are not that good. A bonus point here is that we can actually do this in a provable sense. Some caveats that I haven't included in slides, that actually sometimes you need a majority of good strawberries, or sometimes even a 2/3 majority of good strawberries. But the point is that you can withstand some bad strawberries in your scheme. So this project intends to look at how to distribute trust in the operation of cryptographic primitives that need to have some secret key that should not be anywhere at any given point in time. Our current focuses, there's different distinct focuses, include these 5 primitives, so ECDSA, ADDSA, and RSA signatures, also RSA key generation and AES. And we want to move towards developing guidelines for threshold schemes for these primitives. We've had in the past 2 years 2 reports and 2 workshops, and we currently have a call for feedback until September 13th. So we would very much welcome your feedback. And based on this feedback, we will then put out another report that will actually specify concrete criteria. Let me take 30 seconds to mention here 3 topics on this call for criteria. One of them is interchangeability. We would like to have feedback on probabilistic versus deterministic signatures, because this is a problem that arises in threshold signatures. We would like to have feedback on what is the appropriate threshold, no pun intended here, to accept something that would be secure against adaptive corruptions. And we would also like to have feedback on games and the ideal functionalities for these schemes. And finally, as a third project, masked circuits. This is a spin-off of our old threshold cryptography project. So it kind of considers a threshold approach in single devices. And masking has a potential to improve the resistance to certain side channel attacks in hardware implementation. So we've also had 2 reports and 1 workshop in the past 2 years. We currently have a new web page and a new forum on the NIST web page. And just to give some examples, we're looking to know a little better what is the interest from stakeholders, what are the appropriate attack models that we should be considering for masking, such things like the probing model where you have glitches, orders of protection, and whether or not industry would actually use these schemes if they were to be standardized. So your feedback is very useful. Here are some links, and you can find more info in our project website. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you indeed. So now we go back to the Jeopardy. So Bertram, floor is yours.
Okay, I'm back. I think we were with team C choosing. Elaine Beeple, unmute yourself also.
Okay, should I choose, Elaine?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, I'll take Fallows 300.
I guess in the meantime, everybody checked who the fellows might be this year and last year and the years before. I see Vipul.
Who is Leo Raisin?
That is very good. Who is Leo Raisin? And you will even get your points. And you continue with the next door, please.
Okay, chairing's 400.
Good choice. And Stefano.
Who is Ovav Shaham and Jonathan Katz?
Yeah,
That is correct. Here are the two.
Right. The other one is
that was Stefano, and this makes you your team lead again. It always has, actually. And you will open the next door, please.
I think we should change category to see the other ones. So let's do genealogy 100. Oh.
Hint?
Here comes the hint. This is Ralph and Taher.
Oh.
Oh.
Ah, eh.
10 seconds.
Oy, oy, oy.
Stefano.
I'm just randomly guessing. Who is Martin Hellman?
Yes, that's it.
Is this so much a random guess? That is correct.
Not many people doing crypto at that point, but yeah, that's.
Auntie May, the next question, please.
Anna Maria, please.
Okay, let's move on to books. 200.
Books 200.
Stefano.
Stefano, it gets boring like this.
I don't know. So this looks like, okay, what is Foundations of Cryptography, Volume 1?
Yeah.
That is correct and gives you 200 points. And the next door to open, please. And lower your hand, please.
I don't know, books 500.
Books 500. Gotcha.
No idea.
Anna Maria.
Completely guessing, but what is applied cryptography?
Not a good guess.
No, not a good guess.
But a good book. Vipul.
What is Handbook of Applied Cryptography? Again, completely guessing.
No.
I mean, come on, they all have the same names.
Well, this one, not so much.
Really? Okay, that's a hint.
Here's the hint. I just go one page further. Stefano.
Oh, now I don't have time to process. What is the advanced encryption standard?
Better. Improve on that.
Sorry?
This is not quite right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Marcel, you have your hand up.
Yes, Marcel.
I can't answer anything.
I was going for the same as Stefano.
Elaine? Elaine, your hand is up.
What is the design of Rindell,
Yeah.
advanced encryption standard?
Excellent. This was Elaine with 500. And the next door, please.
Fellows 500.
Yael?
Who is Tal Malkin?
That is correct. And gives you 500 points. And the next door.
I'll do genealogy. Maybe genealogy 500.
Huh.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
People.
Oh, sorry. I was about to just fill in one level up, not two.
Yael?
Well, I actually don't know. It's a guess, but Manuel Blum.
Yeah, this is correct. We had a couple of hints to open this gradually because he had a lot of children and grandchildren, but this is Manuel Blum on the top. And this gives your team the 500 points. And the next door.
Oh, Marcel, do you want to go?
Common schemes 400.
Common schemes 400.
I'm in a competition.
Elaine?
What is ECDSA?
You can start making.
ECDSA is not correct, Marcel.
What's the other one? What is EDDSA?
What is EDDSA? That is correct.
Yeah.
And the next door, please.
I so would have said ECDSA. So thank you. Thank you.
And the next door, please. Martijn, how many doors can we do?
You still have 2 minutes, I believe.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, well, let's write on that. Then common schemes 500.
You want to know it, huh? Elaine?
What is Bitcoin?
What is Bitcoin? That is correct. And gives you many points. And the next door to open, please.
Sharing 500.
Oh,
People.
Who are Ron Kennedy and Juan Gray?
Yeah.
That is correct. And this makes your team lead. Congratulations to that. And Martijn, do we do one more?
One more.
What? One more. Okay, that is Team C, please.
You need to show a question. Like.
Elaine, people. Sorry, yeah, that's yes. Sorry.
Maybe Elaine, should I go?
Yes.
Fellows 400.
Fellows 400. Elaine?
I know.
Who is Xue Jialai?
That is correct. And I think now we hand over, you get your points. And you're really well leading here. And I head back to Martijn.
Actually to Antigone. So.
To Antigone.
Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna have a trailer from Peihan and Xiao about mentoring videos. Guys, are you ready?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question. That's a tough one. I guess the $1 million question.
I was thinking that I do this for nothing.
I don't like writing things up.
I'm going to be very honest about this one.
I'll probably get in trouble for saying this. I shouldn't be saying this publicly.
My advice will be terrible.
There's just so many questions.
There are so many questions out there and so little time to do the work.
You just to pick your the favorite problem.
You have to find something you love.
Have to be really excited about what you're choosing to work on.
Find the topic that you like to work on.
It's very important to work on problems that you're passionate about.
I have to be deeply interested.
Figure out what you really want to do.
What I find exciting.
Looking out into the world.
What's going on in the world.
A very random thing.
Reading groups have really helped me.
Interactions with other researchers.
Talks in conferences, talks in seminars.
Read a paper.
Or you took a class.
Sometimes I look for A and I find B.
If it's not happening to you now, don't panic.
The first thing you need to do is to understand your audience.
You need to know your audience.
The first thing is to know your audience.
The talk is not for you, it's for the audience.
I want to tell a story.
What's the main point?
Less is more.
What do you want people to remember?
For the most significant bits of your result.
Don't lose yourself in details.
You should never introduce more than 3 definitions.
Never underestimate the level of misunderstanding that your audience can have.
You should practice.
Give test talks to myself 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
But I never practice.
I don't spend too much time practicing.
Just be yourself.
Certainly.
Definitely.
Of course, I had a lot of doubts.
I suspected that my PhD topic wasn't really possible.
I didn't really understand what my strengths were.
I, in the beginning, used to think that every result that I have is my last result.
Definitely, I've been doubting myself throughout the whole time.
I still do that now.
Multiple times along the way.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. You always doubt what you can do.
Maybe there's going to be a turning point in the future. Maybe there won't.
You could try to have more than one question.
One can also just live with self-doubt.
I've never been able to figure out how to manage my time properly.
I also struggle with this on a daily basis.
I don't structure very much.
Many of researchers in our community are very disorganized, like me. I wouldn't say I'm great at it.
This is still work in progress.
Before deadline, you just work?
My research bleeds over into my personal time, and my personal time bleeds over into my research.
Cryptographers work all the time.
They are all the time loaded.
I should not sleep because I should work.
Okay, I need to be working. I need to be working.
I think the worst thing to do is to both not work and feel horribly guilty about it.
So being okay about doing things that are not research, not work is actually great.
Never do too much.
What are the important things for you?
Do the things that you like and then do the things that you can't escape doing.
I'm actually very, very good at it. And that's terrible.
I'm trying to be a little disorganized.
Setting weekly and daily goals is a great way.
I recommend plan to the future as much as possible.
Taking time away from kids isn't time you're gonna ever get back.
Their needs came first and foremost.
They're smarter, but they don't study.
That was shocking.
Whether my opinion is accepted with the same weight.
Something I have been working with throughout my career.
Tend to question themselves more.
There's a tendency to think of women as weaker.
No, I don't want to appear like a weak woman.
Hey, by the way, did you see this amazing thing I've done?
I've even heard it from my own children.
We had Shafi all along from the beginning.
Every student is different.
Every student is an individual.
People are really different.
Trying to understand how the student operate.
What are the student skills and capabilities?
Help me to review papers.
Give them small research problems to tackle.
Be always available.
Project that they really like. Right, so we would like to thank Behan, Xiao, and Tal for organizing this. And I really urge you to go and watch the videos. They're very helpful and very funny. And I can see that Behan posted the link, so feel free to watch them. Behan, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I also wanted to thank all the participants in this project. Without them, there will be no hope that we can create this. Shao, do you want to add something?
Yeah, thanks for all the 40 participants. Yeah.
Thanks again so much, guys. So let's move on to the next talk. We have James. He's going to talk about bad random, TLS in the wild. We can see your slides, so please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. And you can hear me too, I assume. Okay.
Yes.
Basically, we had a project at UC Santa Cruz to analyze the random numbers that are used by TLS. And we focused on the nonce that is used in the hello random, hello, the client hello, and the server hello records. There's a random field in there. And the idea is, can we determine the quality of the random numbers by looking at these numbers that are made available in the protocol? We analyzed about 2 billion TLS connections. We saved the hello and client, the client and server hello random values. We saved the client and the server implementation fingerprint. Since TLS has so many features and so many parameters, you just hash up all of the options and it gives you the fingerprint of the implementation. There's a 32-byte client hello random value. 4 of the bytes might be the time of day, so we throw those out. But the probability of getting a single random number to repeat out of 2 billion random numbers is about 10 to the minus 50. We found 28,000 client hello random values that repeated with a probability of about 10 to the minus 5th. It turns out that this group is not the only group that's doing this work. Also, Nadia Henninger's group and I don't pronounce his name, Zakir's group at Stanford are also working on the same thing. What we've found is 5 implementations with low entropy. Basically, they repeated ephemeral keys on a regular basis, but not just one key, had many different keys. We've disclosed this to Google. Google has said that they want help trying to find these devices. Given the PII and other things that people have to be careful of, I'm not able to actually find these devices, so I'm looking for people to help with that. We found about 5 implementations that use a constant single number. Basically, the random number looks random, but it's the same random number over and over again, just like XKCD. And some are all zeros. And we did find one device that is a physical security device. Won't go any further. There's a responsible disclosure out to that vendor. We found that TLS scanners, basically, if they're scanning a TLS site, intentionally repeat their client random numbers, and one acknowledged that they actually intentionally repeat their ephemeral secrets. And we found one implementation that's repeating both the client and the server random number. Well, short term, like to have community help to determine what devices are actually provided that actually not following the TLS standard. And basically, I'm sure there's going to be other researchers that are going to attempt to reverse the keys, because if these random numbers repeat, maybe the ephemeral keys are repeating. And long term, it is my opinion that deterministic protocols that don't use public random values, protocols which are either correct or do not work, they are possible, they can be proven secure, and would be significantly better than what we have today. Specifically, cryptographers put random numbers in a protocol because it's easy to prove. Implementers, if it works, they ship it. And those two worlds don't mesh together very well. Basically, for more information, you can either contact me at my email address or come to a seminar that's going to be occurring in about a week. That's it. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you so much, James. Next, we have Boeing. He's going to talk about looking for postdocs. Oh, actually, is this, no, I made a mistake, sorry. It's like very late here. We are not there. Okay, next we have Wu. Sorry, Bowen, I made a mistake. Yeah, so Kay is gonna talk about the complete characterization of game theoretically fair multi-party coin toss. How do you say your name?
Ke.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's a bit hard to pronounce. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, hi everyone. I would like to introduce our new paper, Complete Characterization of Game Theoretical Fair Multi-Party Coin Toss. This is a joint work with Gilad Asherov and Elaine Shi. So let's imagine the following situation. Alice and Bob collaborated on a paper and they want to do random author ordering. So they decide to do a two-party coin toss protocol, at the end of which they will agree on the same output C. So if the output is 0, then Alice is the first author, and otherwise Bob is the first author. The classical notion of fairness, which we refer to as the strong fairness, guarantees that corrupted party cannot bias the output of the honest party towards either direction. However, since they both want to be the first author, they might deviate from the protocol to bias the output. Unfortunately, Cleave's lower bound shows that strong fairness is impossible if half of the players are corrupted. So it seems that Alice and Bob cannot fairly decide the author ordering. But if we think of the first coin toss protocol proposed by Blum, things become a little different. In Blum's coin toss, in the first round, Alice and Bob each commits to a random bit R0 and R1. And then in the second round, they open the commitment. The final output is defined as the XOR of the two random bits. And if during the protocol, anyone fails to open the commitment correctly or aborts, then the remaining party wins. So if Bob aborts from the protocol, then the output is 0 and Alice is the first author. Clearly, Blum's coin toss does not satisfy the strong fairness because Bob can always bias the output towards 0, although this brings him no benefit, and a rational Bob would never do this. The Blum's coin toss achieves a weaker notion of fairness, which guarantees that players cannot benefit itself by deviating. So the game theoretical notion of fairness we care about guarantees that no collision can benefit itself by deviating from the protocol. Thus, the honest protocol forms a Nash equilibrium. Indeed, in our example, by Blum's coin toss, Alice and Bob are both convinced that the other one cannot gain benefit by deviating, so they will agree to join the protocol and follow the protocol honestly. So why do we care about this game theoretical notion of fairness? Because it fits better for the decentralized blockchain applications than the classical notion of fairness. In blockchain applications, incentive compatibility is a desired property, and we want to make sure that players are incentivized to follow the protocol honestly. And this game theoretical notion of fairness is enough for such applications. Since Blum's coin toss protocol already satisfies the game theoretical notion of fairness for two-party coin toss, the question we ask is that can we construct game theoretical multi-party binary coin toss? And the answer is yes. In this paper, we give a complete characterization of multi-party game theoretical fair coin toss. So we assume that each player has a preference, 0 or 1, and gains utility 1 if the output of the protocol agrees with its preference. The red plane in this plot shows the maximum number of corruption we can tolerate as a function of the number of players preferring 0, which is our x-axis, and the number of players preferring one, which is our y-axis. This purple plane shows half number of the players. So we can see that indeed under this game theoretical notion of fairness, we can tolerate more than half corruption, which is denoted by this red plane. And this means that with game theoretical notion of fairness, we can circumvent the classical impossibility result for strong fairness for blockchain applications. And thank you for listening. Our paper is already available on ePrint. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will remind you that you can still ask questions on Zoom. So next we have Chandan Day. He's going to talk about revisiting cryptanalysis on Chacha from Eurocrypt 2021, which is a joint work with, oh, sorry.
Am I audible?
Sabasha Day. Oh, okay, go ahead. I want to mention your co-authors, but you can go ahead.
Okay, please mention then.
Yeah, so they are Sabashi Day, Santanu Sarkar, and Willie Mayer. Is there any connection with the second author? You have the same surname.
No connection.
Oh, interesting. So please go ahead.
Okay, is my screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, hello everyone. Title of my talk is Revisiting Cryptanalysis on Chacha from Eurocrypt 2021. It's a joint work with Sabasha Day, Santanu Sarkar, and Willie Mayer. And I will give introduction and description of Chacha in a nutshell. Chacha is an stream cipher designed by Bernstein in 2008, and it's a ARX based stream cipher. ARX means addition, rotation, JOR operation involved in the quarter round function of Chacha. And Chacha is a very popular cipher because it's several uses. Google adopted Chacha for symmetric encryption in TLS, and also it's used as a pseudo-random generator in different systems. Okay. And the description of Chacha as follows. The state of Chacha is of 16 words and each 32-bit words, and it can be written as a 4x4 matrix format. Okay. And the quarter round function of Chacha involve previously I said addition, rotation, and JOR operation to update the state of Chacha. And Chacha round function of quarter round function applies along columns and diagonals alternately, and the quarter round function, that is the round function of Chacha, reversible. Okay. And I will tell about now introduce differential. What is differential linear correlation? In differential attack, some input difference is given at the initial state, and then try to obtain certain correlation corresponding to the combination of some output bits. Okay, so here suppose differential correlation for R rounds is epsilon, and linear correlation means suppose after smaller rounds to capital R rounds, we have got some linear relation with correlation epsilon L. Okay, and then the differential linear correlation for R rounds will be epsilon L square. It will be given briefly in the Eurocrypt paper. So next, in Eurocrypt paper, Contino et al. Reported 7-round distinguisher attack and 7-round improved key recovery attack on Chacha. Actually, for this 7-round distinguisher and key recovery attack, they uses the 3.5 rounds differential distinguisher at output difference position 5,0 for both key recovery and distinguisher attack. And also they found some differential correlation, some other position also 0,0, 1,0, 12,0, 13,0. And generally it is well known that order of 1 by p square random samples is sufficient to distinguish between two events. One happens with probability p and another with p into 1 plus q, where p, q are small. And we have checked that using 2 to the power 37 samples, random samples, for the position 0, 0, 1, 0, 12, 0, 13, 0. That the result that the correlation, differential correlation for 3.5 rounds given by the continuator are not accurate, and this gives 100% success probability. We verified that their correlation at differential correlation for 3.5 round at 0, 0, 1, 0, 12, 0, 13, 0 position are not accurate. And also for the 5, 0 position, we have used 2 to the power 46 random samples, which gives 76% success probability. And we are still continuing this experiment because this is not sufficient. This gives 76% success probability. So actually 5, 0 position correlation, differential correlation, they used for the 7-round distinguisher and key recovery attack. And we have given a comparison of differential correlation in the following table. Here we have seen, one can seen that see that their correlation I have listed, and our when the random samples increases, the correlation is decreases. Correlation value decreases, and so according to continuator distinguisher and key recovery attack complexities for 7 rounds Chacha, both 2.218 and 2.228.51 respectively, and we have sorry, we have got we have
10 seconds.
Okay, sorry. We identified some incompatibility between their and our experimental result, and using but if we take sufficient number of random samples, then we can say that their attack complexity is higher than their claims. Okay, if we take sufficient number of random samples, then we can tell. And we got distinguisher and key recovery attack complexities this respectively using 2 to the power 47 random samples. Okay, and we are still continuing our experiment, and we will update our result in the print version. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and if you have any query, then contact.
Thank you
for your attention.
Thanks. So let's move to the next one. So now we have an announcement from Boeing. Yeah, go ahead. We can see the slide.
We would like to announce that we have a new cybersecurity center of excellence in Taipei. And oops, I think my screen just crashed.
You're sharing a different screen now.
I'm serving a different screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, try again.
What do we see here?
It's the screen that you don't want to show. Yeah.
I mean, the right screen did flash about how Taiwan is so beautiful. It flashed and then it disappeared.
Okay. I think I will just repeat
there
that.
now.
We will.
Yeah, I think this is the right screen.
Yeah, and so I guess this is incompatibility. We have a very nice new group, and please watch out for the IACR new job announcements. We are working in post-quantum cryptography and cryptographic implementations. Thank you. Anyway, I think I'm done. And sorry for the incompatibilities.
Right, so we show your slides. We saw your slides. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. guess that's it.
Thank you. So now, unfortunately, we don't have Dives for the last talk, unless Dives is around with a nickname. So if you're around, raise your hand, but I doubt. So let's just move to the Jeopardy. So Bertram, back to you, and let's find out who is the winner.
The winner, that's my keyword. So here I'm screen sharing again. Before we continue playing, I would like to thank my team. That would be in alphabetical order. Arne Tobias from Simula Norway, Ben Dowling from the University of Sheffield, and Simon Rustikian, currently ENS and very soon at IBM, and Douglas Dibila contributed some cycles. My team did an amazing job with evaluating the submissions by the players at home, and I have to say that the upper field is playing exactly in this area that we have on display on the chat screen. So these people do not want to close their browser session. I will later read out their player ID, and then they please, if they want to, unmute themselves and release their identity. Currently, everybody is playing anonymous. And I forgot who is playing. Who's opening the next door? Who is it?
Not us.
Okay, then it's again Team B. I have this random dice here that told me it's Team B.
Hey, Marcel, can I go or do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Okay, how about genealogy 400?
Marcel.
Who is Arjen Lenstra?
Good guess, but it's likely, it is unfortunately not correct. Stefano?
Who is Jacques Stern?
Who is Jacques Stern? This is correct. And I guess you also want your 400 points and open the next door.
I guess books 400.
Books 400. Vipul.
Which book is written by Aurora and Barak?
That is sufficient to solve this one. Yes.
Oh. No
A4. And next one, Vipul. Ah, sorry.
Okay, genealogy 300.
Stefano.
Who is actually okay, Tanya Lange?
That is not correct.
Oh.
Hint?
Already? Yes,
I need to fit my kids' dinner, so I'm trying to speed it up. Oh.
Hendrik and Peter, is this? Give you 10 seconds. Elaine? Elaine, we don't hear you.
Who is Daniel Bernstein?
That is correct. And the next door to open, please.
Chairing 100.
Ooh.
Here.
Stefano.
Yeah, who are Daniela Michancho and Tom Ristenpart. Finally, my favorite couple.
That is correct. This was Stefano. Team A, next door, please.
Ana Maria, do you want to go?
Books 300.
Stefano, yes.
What is the Handbook of Applied Cryptography?
That is correct. This gives you points.
I guess Genealogy 200.
In 1 second. Genealogy 200. There we are. Elaine.
Who is Silvio McCallie?
Nope.
No.
No.
Stefano.
Who is Ron Rivest?
Yes.
That is correct. Who is Ron Rivest? That was Stefano.
Yeah.
And the next, please.
Thalos 100.
Ana Maria.
Who is Craig Gentry?
That is correct.
Yes.
That is another 100 for you.
Go ahead.
Team A.
Oh, that's me. Sorry. Do you want to go, Stefano? Because I picked the last two.
No,
ones.
you can go ahead. Which one of the two you prefer? Yeah.
Okay, books 100.
Books 100. Yeah.
Who is the writer Yuda Lindell and Jonathan Katz?
That is what we count. That is correct. And then, where are you there? And the last one.
Yeah, that's it.
Common schemes. Myself.
What is RC4?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, but it's not correct. And I see Stefano next.
What is SHA-3 or Kachak? Whatever. Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
This
And that
was
gives...
fun.
It was fun.
Guys, thank you so much for organizing this. This was great.
Thank you. And we managed to do all of them.
Yeah.
So thank you for playing. I will now leave my machine because I need to do the evaluation. I hand over to Antigone and Martijn to entertain people. In the meantime, I need 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I have to go feed 3 very hungry children. It was great to see you guys. And thanks for organizing this.
Thank you.
Bon appetit.
So Carnival Melon is the winner.
Yeah, so yes.
Thank you so much for organizing this.
Congratulations to the winner.
Yeah.
There's no present.
Are you planning to come to Eurocrypt in Trondheim next year?
Me? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll be around. Who knows? If they allow me to travel, maybe.
Is Eurocrypt going to go virtual? Like it got deferred to October, right? Or is it still in person?
That's
still the Eurocrypt, right? Yeah.
At present, the plan is to have at least a small in-person local event, and then we'll have some sort of hybrid that we have yet to figure out. So something.
Okay, all right. I have to go too. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, Elaine, for participating.
So Vlad, you were going to awards.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right.
Have you
That's
made
right.
your
So
mind?
yes, I have made up my mind. I don't know if people are gonna vote anymore, but let's have some reasonable. Everybody wants to go to sleep. Yeah. Based on the votes, Marcel wins the prize, and if I'm able to generate additional prize, I, by my own decision, will give it to the mentoring video people. They worked very hard, and it was really awesome.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, so I wanted to encourage people to participate humorously, and I don't know. I think Marcel made the joke and disappeared. It's just disappointing he didn't stick. We could have benefited from his wonderful humor.
Oh, I'm right here.
Didn't. Oh, but why did you stop?
Why did you stop being funny?
Yeah, what?
What's going on?
I'm confused. Disappear how?
No, he wasn't reading anything. It was just what? So Marcel, you won the prize, which the prize, yes, do you know for what?
Well, about the question with Schnorr?
Yes.
That's the only thing. And that was before you announced the prize. So
yes,
I made a joke for the entertainment, not for the money. I shall have you know.
Yes, yes, but it was during the Rump Session, so technically it was.
But I think he stopped when he heard that you announced that there's a prize.
It was not a fair competition. It was like, okay, I'm like professionals don't.
I was busy losing at Jeopardy. Hello.
Oh yes, that's why he stopped. Yeah, I was trying to parse all the jokes and figure out which one is serious, which one is a joke. People are asking questions. Okay, so the award is a T-shirt with
a research position at Fujitsu America.
No, it's not.
Sorry.
It's a T-shirt with the crypto strawberry logo that I intend to make for PC, basically for people who helped out, and this was an impromptu thing to encourage Rump Session participation. It was awesome, and so you. But delivery will be delayed.
Wait, but Marcel was on the committee, so he would have gotten it anyway. So you need to come up with a new prize, with an extra prize.
Well, then I don't know. I'll
maybe send him two merch items.
Well, there's only okay. I'll see if I'll make. So right now it's all in.
Maybe matching pants, a shirt and pants.
Well, a shirt, for a doll and for him.
Sorry, for a dog?
Maybe
a doll.
Short with chocolate strawberries.
I don't know. As a parent, haven't you? I mean, I don't know. People have different lifestyle, but I recall my kids would get a composition or like a set, a dress for them and a dress for matching American Girl doll or some doll, and that was really cool. So I don't know. They really like
Marcel, you have to wear this the next time you come to an in-person committee with the doll. You have to bring the doll and yourself.
Oh dear. I don't know. Can you make I have a plush koala that came free with my mattress. So if you can have a koala sized crypto t-shirt, I will bring it.
Yes. I will see if I can. Yes. So delivery of those things can be, logistically complicated. The plan was to maybe take advantage of Eurocrypt, but I'm not sure I will be able to, because I will not be going and my student will not be going probably. But eventually it will get there. So, but anyway, congratulations. It's not, you didn't do it for the prize, you did it for the joy. So
I appreciate it.
Yes, yes, yes. Nice, nice background, Martin. I like it.
Glad you like it.
Yes.
We have a winner. May I interrupt? For the players playing at home, the winner with 2,900 marks, which is as much as actually the winning team that we had live obtained, has the player ID starting with 325550. So if this is you in the audience, please unmute yourself.
Don't they all start with that?
No.
Mine starts with that, but has 4 more digits after that.
So what I wanted to say, if
I am Spartacus.
If your code starts with 325550, unmute yourself and tell me the remaining 4 digits so that I can authenticate you.
Wow, 0408.
That is perfect, and this makes you the winner of the players.
Wow, unbelievable. I didn't know many of the answers.
With an amazing 2,900 marks, which is more than double of what the second one in line has.
How can it be? I didn't know any of the books. Oh, I knew Lindell Katz, but I didn't know any of the other books. Wow, great. Thank you.
The second
What's
winner,
my prize? What's my prize?
We tell you next year. And the second winner has number 418575 and another 4 digits. Is that player here as well? I read again, 418575.
Wait, that's also me, 3520.
It is not correct. I think you would have gotten a prize, but now we kind of need to penalize you somehow. So do we have 418575 still online? And the third one would be 325005. Okay, then we just have a first winner this year. Congratulations, Tal.
Thank you, thank you. I took it very seriously.
Yes, yes. I started with it and then I gave up. It was too hard. And then I had to watch the chats everywhere. But yeah. And yeah, based on Mike's suggestion, I think I can upgrade Marcel's t-shirt by having the artist sign it. So that should be good.
Who is the artist, by the way?
The artist is my daughter, Ellen.
Oh, I didn't know. That's so nice.
It says right there on oh, anyway. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yes. Yes. How's her algebra coming along?
They finished.
Already.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Working on cryptography and stuff. Yeah. Okay. This was really nice. I really enjoyed this Rump session.
Yeah, thank you.
I think yeah. The Jeopardy is great, and people were participating in Jeopardy and in chat, so that was very good.
What we need